I'm Vanessa Ruck, the girl on a bike, and I'm here at Desert Rose Riding Academy to have a look at an option to get into riding or up your skills off-road here in the UK. In the southeast of England, we are in East Sussex. It's a gorgeous spring day and Desert Rose have a fleet of beta models. They pretty much got one of every one that beta have on offering. So 4-stroke, 2-strokes, different engine sizes, and they also have a slightly smaller, lower bike for someone wanting to build a little bit more confidence, maybe newer to riding, possibly shorter as well. Now, we are here to do an experience day to improve our skills, and the skill and training is the big tick that Desert Rose are giving with their academies. Now, I'm mega excited to get out on the beaters and see what I can learn. Harry and Patsy are going to be the ones giving us some training today. Let's do this. Right, I'm kitting up. Now, they do have a truck that you can change in here, but it's such a beautiful day and all my kit's like right here in the car. I decided to just get changed on the car mat. So putting my riding kit on, I've just had a lovely hot coffee, and then we'll be given a little bit of a briefing. Time to ride. The protection has one moment to stop you getting injury when you fall off. You never know when you're going to fall off. That's the nature of accidents. So I always wear the kit. Here we go. Ready to ride.
Welcome to Desert Rose and welcome to this fantastic venue. And we've got sunshine. What's not to like? We've got sunshine, we've got motorbikes. A couple of introductions first. I'm Paul. I've probably emailed most of you about the day. This is Harry, this is Patsy. We've also got Vanessa here. Firstly, don't stress about the day. This is your day. We want you to get the most out of it that you possibly can. Obviously our priority is making sure you enjoy the day, but also we keep you safe. So we're not going to push anyone beyond their limits. And obviously we've got mixed experience amongst the group today, but with 3 of us here, we can easily break off if we need to, and obviously take different people off to do different exercises for more of the time. The venue itself, as you can see already, is beautiful. Don't give it a handful at that particular moment in time, and we'll probably make sure that we steer clear of it for most of the day, but there are a couple of routes that come past that. When we go across the nice big open stretches of grassland, please make sure you follow us and our line more or less. Don't go veering off and putting great big skid marks across the lawn. We want to carry on riding here, so we're going to keep the landowner running happy. There is a herd of deer here. There's about 45 of them. They're quite brave. They are quite brave, so they'll get relatively close to us. We have already got the social media strapline ready. If we get that shot, mud, sweat and deer.
We've been waiting.
We've still not got the shot for that, unfortunately. Though. Just be mindful. Whoever's riding at the front, it'll be one of us. Whoever's riding at the front, if the first deer comes out, don't focus on that one, guys. Focus on the bushes where they came from, because there's likely to be others that come out as well. That's the word of warning. Split the group, yeah. So we might split the group at different stages. We're kind of going to mix up our normal stage 1, stage 2 courses, just again so that everybody gets the most out of the day. There will be a fair amount of instruction and tuition, but you'll still have plenty of time to ride. Normally what we do is a little bit of instruction. We'll then go and ride some loops so that you can put that instruction into practice. The river crossing we normally leave till the end of the day, so that when you get wet feet, you can change your socks when you get back here to go home. Did you know there was a river crossing?
No, but I'm saying I'm glad it's the end of the day because I will go in.
Very shiny. I'm wondering if it's ever been dropped.
If you think where is it?
Blue one then. What is most people's first impression of off-road bikes? What puts a lot of people off? I've already had one person say it to me today. height. When I get on my bike with the side stand down, what doesn't happen? Yeah, I don't give myself the rider sag. I don't allow for the suspension to compress. All of my weight goes into the side stand, so it keeps the seat height exactly the same as it was before. The bike's then staying just as tall. Thirdly, these stands are made of cheese. They bend any kind of rider weight, they will start to bend and then they will snap eventually. This is static sag, so there's a little bit of weight in the shock, which is causing a tiny little bit of suspension to sag. Watch what happens when I put it on its side stand. Who saw it lift? So you've just added height to an already tall bike by leaving the side stand down. Secondly, when I jump on my bike, to get the suspension to compress and to actually put my foot down, because we all want to put this foot down to get the side stand up, it pushes me over that way. What if you're on a little bit of a camber and this bit's a lot lower? Then I have to faff around trying to get the side stand up. Again, what if this side of the bike is really low and I can't put my foot down? First thing that we always do when we get on our bike is get rid of it. We don't need it. You've got hands to hold the bike. You don't need the side stand. Second step, open the bars up. Point them away from you, put them on the steering lock. This will help keep the bike a little bit stable and it opens the bike up nicely. You've got a lovely long saddle, a lovely long and open bike. When you have the bars this way, it just closes that all up and it forces you to stand further back. If you look at Chris's bike, is the perfect example. Can you see, especially with the bag on the back, how much higher the rear of the bike is? So when you have the bars closed this way, you're forced to stand further back. Look at where I'm stood now. When I lift my leg up, where's my leg going to go? The highest point, exactly. If I have my bars open, stand a little bit closer to the handlebars, I lift my leg, where does it go? Over the saddle, over the low point, conveniently straight over my foot peg. The best thing to try and get into the habit of doing is putting your foot straight to the foot peg, okay? Anytime you ride off-road, you want to try and always put one foot on the ground and keep the other foot on the foot peg. So whichever foot is on the highest side goes down on the ground and the low side stays on the peg. This is something that as a road rider you don't ever really have to adjust to is different cambers. You can always take 2 feet off unless you're shorter. Take 2 feet off, 2 feet touch the ground on the road, don't they? It's very, very rare that ever you'll catch a camber and you'll slip off on a road bike. It may happen, but it's very rare. Here, I can guarantee it will happen multiple times today. So, one foot's going to conveniently touch the ground, the next one's going to do this. How many of you have done that? Oh, nothing there. You reach for it and then you go. Okay? This, one foot on the peg, one foot on the ground. I'm really stable now. All of my weight is on my foot and I can hold my bike up really nicely with my leg. Do you see Patsy stop at any point today? I can guarantee she'll be like this. Especially when riding a rally bike.
Is that what you're saying?
Was she saying she's short?
Are you saying she's shorter than you?
I am.
Thanks,
You do what I
Harry.
say when she's not here. So, this way can be quite alien, but we'll encourage you to all try it now. So, you pick the bike off the side stand, flick the side stand up, open the bars up, and then bring your legs over. Perfect. Yeah! I've set you in a bit of a... Okay.
I love things like this because how many times have I got on and off on a bike, but thinking about the actual process and the whys,
what I'd say,
etc.,
Chris, is
it's just
stand back
kind of
here.
click stuff. The basics are really important foundations.
And then lick it over that. See how that little... It's the faces that people call. So, off-road, again, we're pretty restricted on getting on our bikes sometimes, so we have to be mobile and be able to get on the bike from both sides. How many of you would say that you've ever gotten on your bike from the right-hand side? The odd time. The odd time. A lot of people would say probably either parking in a tight space or in their garage they've had to get off the bike in that manner. Off-road you will have to do it every now and then. So if you could jump back on that side for me please. Notice if you've got one hip that's probably a little bit less mobile inside. Right. Next thing we want you to do, so for example you've dropped your bike and it is on a bit of a camber, so you've dropped it downhill. You're going to have to pick it up, but you may not be able to get on it from that side because you are lower than this. You're a lot lower, you may be holding your bike up here. So you'll need to walk around your bike. You may not be able to put your side stand down. So what we'd like you guys to do now is to walk around your bike for me.
Keep the side stand up, walk around it.
So, who felt like there was going around the front of the bike easier, going around the back of the bike easier?
Back is easier.
Back's far easier. You can stand right up close to it and have your arms bent. You can control the bike so much easier. This is also solid. It's a lot easier. When you walk around the front of your bike, a lot of you I saw had the bars straight forwards. This doesn't help because you've got movement there. So the easiest way, if you do have to walk around the front, put it on a steering lock, depending on the hill. Now you can hold the mudguard there because you're a little bit more stable on the steering lock, but I would say because it's turned, it's easier to hold the handlebars. For those of you that did hold the mudguard, it's a little bit wobbly. As soon as the bike goes there, it will go. You won't be able to hold it up. The easiest thing, bars on the lock, and then you can stay a little bit closer. The closer you are, the easier it is really. If you're stretched out, it's a lot harder to try and balance a bike, isn't it? Is everyone happy with that? Perfect. What we see quite regularly is, we get it, these are rental bikes. You don't want to be seen to be dropping it on the floor right in front of the people whose bikes they are. So, what we see a lot is people like this, looking at us with panic in their eyes going, I don't want to drop the bike right in front of you, but I can't hold it up. What we say though is please put it down carefully. From here it's a real struggle to try and get a bike back up. If it's ever happened to any of you, you'll know. There is a couple of ways, I'll talk about it, but we've had people do this in the morning. They've been struggling to hold the bike up and then they pull a muscle in their back and it puts them out for the rest of the day. So if it's a case of risking your day to place a bike down on the floor, we just say, look, just gently place it down. Don't bust a gut to try and hold it up in this position because it's not light, it's not easy. If you do, one thing to try, a lot of people try and pick the bike up with their arms. If your foot is on the peg, give it a push. If your legs are nice and strong and you've got that extra little bit of leverage, which is going to help pivot the bike on the spot and lift it up, then you can use a little bit of your arms. Does that make sense? See that natural spring? When you have your elbows out, it just returns itself. I think when your wheel's rolling and you've clipped a wet root, it's going to centre itself far more regularly than if your elbows are dropped. We almost encourage the front wheel to touch as you ride with your elbows dropped. Because as soon as it turns, your elbow drops. As soon as your elbow drops, pulls your shoulder. Shoulder pulls your head, all your weight goes inside, poof, push it. Riding with your elbows out will help you absorb all those little movements. You should start to actually just feel it happen and let it happen, because that's what you need to do.
Yeah. So I've got a demonstration of road riding position. Okay, so we've come up to this beautiful field. Look at this venue, it's absolutely stunning. Right now we're literally focusing on getting used to the bike, finding a bit of comfort, getting rid of those initial riding nerves, new bikes, new environment, new terrain. And some of these people, it's really new to riding. Like, just learned to use a geared bike. And this is the most gorgeous opportunity to improve those skills. I've just been given the task of trying to do some bike yoga, which is effectively trying to ride with no arms. So I'm going to give that a go.
Cave too much. That's not good for your knees. If you don't wear knee braces, this can really badly affect your knees, the ligaments and the muscles. What you want to try and do, for anyone that does weightlifting, the same principle, what you want to try and do is let your heel lift and twist. That's going to keep your knee over your toes so that you've got the strength down in your legs. So I wear knee braces, so they're really stiff from here down. That's as much as I can cave my knee in. But keeping your knee above your toe is going to really help you keep a strong lower leg, but again, it allows you to twist more. You can see that, I'm lifting my heels up. Basically, the further you can twist head, shoulders, hips, and let the rest of that follow, the further around the corner you're going to learn. So I'm going to do exactly that same movement on the bike.
Man, Harry is such a good instructor. You know, people who are just ridiculously good on a bike, make everything look really easy, but he legit knows how to simplify it and putting it into a way that you can then like take that into your riding and make it improve. So we've done some pretty basic stuff this morning, from getting on and off the bike to your body position, your weight, your position of your feet on your pegs, where your fingers are, and we've just started to do some sort of serpentine cornering practicing, really thinking about, oh, just had a bike down. You okay? Yeah, Harry's over there quickly. When you think about using your hips and your weight and your shoulders and your elbows to get yourself round a corner, finding the best traction on the side of the wheel, keeping your weight above it. And you know, I've been riding for a little while now, but taking a step back and really focusing on these like proper foundations, I'm learning a lot. I really am. And I mean, these guys are, some of them are much more novice riders, so their trajectory of their riding ability, honestly, it's going to be awesome. If they're getting to focus on these things at the start, I kind of wish I'd had some of these right at the beginning of my learning curve, because I definitely would have been able to progress a bit faster. Right, time for me to get practicing too. Impressive how exhausting it is on the brain, like processing all the information, trying to dial it in practice. We've just stopped for a little coffee stop, so the Desert Rose always have coffee station, tea, hot chocolate, milk, toilets, place to change out of the rain. We are very fortunate with the weather today, and we're just having a chill out, kind of allowing our brain time to process and our bodies a little bit of a rest.
That road riders do, they stay, I say, how many of you would slip the clutch in traffic? A lot of you put your hands up. Very good. What we've found is that there is a vast difference from how road riders would say they'd slip their clutch in traffic to how much you can actually slip a clutch off-road. This is such an important tool, and I used the term unlocking it to Vanessa earlier when we were talking about brakes and the hand controls. Once you've unlocked the use of this, the benefits it has across the board are huge. Momentum up the hill. You want to try and alleviate the being on the throttle on the last section of the hill. So we want you to roll up to it, build up some power, and then be able to pull the clutch in about two-thirds of the way up the hill, so that you're just rolling over that last third with momentum. That's where most people make big mistakes on steep and long hill climbs. You've all seen it on videos. It's coming up the last little bit and suddenly it just goes whoom, like that. Because they're accelerating when there's nothing for the front wheel to be on and the weight's all shifted back, because there's always more of a cut up. So here, we want you to practice. This is going to help you build up your skills with momentum and commitment. Roll up to it with a bit more speed so that you can roll up to it more speed so that you can pull the clutch in and roll over the crest. So that you're in control through here, not jamming the brakes on and being really aggressive. So, sorry, thanks Patsy. We'll call you up.
Run him over! Ooh.
You always test me. When we start to get
So I think this is just run flat.
Oh no, we've got back
we would
to go.
encourage you to stand up.
Weird. It's getting weird. We're going this way.
using more of the front brake, super slow riding, balls on the pegs. Like, that was ridiculous how much slower, more relaxed, and effectively more confident I was with those little tips Harry's just given me. I think the more relaxed is probably the biggest step, because when you're relaxed, you're not tense. When you're not tense and like fighting for the balance, you're not using anywhere near as much muscles. So I'm going to definitely keep remembering those things every time I get the opportunity to ride slowly, even if it's just when you stop, pulling up into the pits, or going towards a gate when you're out riding, pulling up in front of the garage. All of those little moments I can use to start really solidifying the stuff that we're learning today. And it's the little things, like I've just got super slow riding, relaxed, and changing gears whilst going super slow. So that's balance too, having to move my foot on the pegs to change gears. Yes, Harry, this is epic. Time at the feeding hole. I had sausage and onion wrap, obviously, very predictable, but wait for my next snack. Let me show you. This is the best bit. So good, all crunchy and yummy. We're going up there. So we've just been doing some hill climbs. First time, brand new off-road. One of the guys in this group literally his second time on a motorbike, and we've just been learning how to go up and down hills, what you've got to think about, braking, body position, etc. Absolutely amazing. It's just so empowering seeing people getting into off-roading. Like, just Desert Rose, you are creating future off-road adventurers. I love it. Anyway, unfortunately just had a little bit of an off. There is an element of target fixation, which we did get told about beforehand, but I know all too easily how easy it is to like look at the tree. So anyway, we decided, the rest of the group, while sort of they're recovering and making sure that bodies are okay, going for a little wander through the bluebells, and we just had a bit of dominoes, but everyone's just having a really good time. It's fun. Look at this. Okay, we just had a Harry show, and he did a little bit of a dance on his bum, but I'm gonna get the GoPro footage because I wasn't filming. No one saw.
because my hips aren't as flexible as Harry's, there are times when I put my knee on this lift bank, because having my right foot on the peg and trying to put my left foot high up on the bank, at my age, I'm 97, that's really quite a challenge. What I would also say to you, please imagine as you go through this part of the water that your right foot is cable tied to your peg. Do not take the temptation to take your right foot off, because that's where I get wet feet, because it'll be me stood there holding you up. When I get to this point, I'm now putting my right foot on the peg, and it's going to stay there.
This is playing on motorbikes off-road. It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so Harry knows how to push people. We've figured out some basics, and now we're in a stream. Love it.
So where'd you go? Oh, that really steep. I don't know why I'm worrying. I won't get past this bit. But
You will. Yeah, up there. So you hook a rock. Paul's going to go there in a second.
Show you where we go.
So if you watch how Paul handles this ruck, you don't have to hit it out and out speed. Try and stay on the pegs. If you want to do it 2 feet down, do it 2 feet down. The biggest misconception a lot of people will try and do you see how Paul's legs are bent? It's because he's putting all his weight in the seat. He's not taking his weight by pushing it into his feet, and standing up on it is taking the weight off the bike. So you're not going to have the grip. So he left his weight on his saddle so that he put his weight over the back tyre, and he was just dabbing with his feet. He was just keeping himself balanced, but ultimately the weight was actually on the rear wheel because he was sat down on the back of the bike.
I'm gonna have a go as well.
Uncertain.
Gonna watch how it goes first. I've got dry feet right now. See, dry feet.
Tight.
Dry feet.
that's fucking
Quite
awful.
nice. So we can see, obviously we've been put outside our comfort zone, but every single step of the way, Paul, Harry, Patsy, Desiree's team are there, teaching you, guiding you, telling what you need to do. You're never really alone. And it's a controlled expansion of capabilities in such an epic landscape. Woo! Oh, I nearly fell over whilst walking. That brings us to the end of a day with Desert Rose Riding Academy. Absolutely wicked. So quick recap, they are in the southeast of England. They have a big fleet, you can see them all behind me, of beta bikes, all the different models, different sizes, 4 and 2 stroke, all for hire. They have full kit. You can come here never having ridden a bike before, or you can come here doing hard enduro riding and still get something out of Harry's training abilities. There's obviously Patsy, who's a female, so if you're a female rider preferring maybe a little female edge to the tuition, they've got it all. Absolutely wicked day. Massive thumbs up for me. I'm gonna get myself out of my kit and head back home to see my husband. Hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions about learning to ride, getting off-road for the first time, whether you're interested, whether you've tried, had a bad experience, any encouragement, any sorts of questions, drop them in the comments. Let me know if you've enjoyed this video, and make sure you hit the bell and get a notification when I do future videos. I'm Vanessa Rupp, the girl on a bike. Over and out.